This video is about how the show The Office helped me realize that my mental health is improving.
Whatever. Here's the plan. It's our second Halloween, and Carrie's dressed here. We've got a lot of candy. She's keeping track of all the kids coming. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wear this. These are ghillie suit pants. I'm gonna dress like a bush for Halloween, and I'm going to sit right there.
Is this project of talking to experts in the mental health space, practicing what they suggest, and sharing it with you via videos and podcasts, helping with my mental health? I mean, that was the goal when I started this project, right? I mean, one of the goals. There's lots of goals, but that was one of the goals.
Do you really want to know what you are?
Letting go or changing how you do things is a scary thing.
It's amazing how much pain you can hold on to.
You really want to know sort of how you operate.
I launched a podcast this week with Jason Gruhl, who writes these amazing children's books that help with mental health. In the podcast, we're talking about the idea of the Buddhism idea of non-attachment. And then I explained how it's challenging for me. It was really hard for me to wrap my head around that idea. For most of my life, I've been trying to avoid depression and chase happiness. And when that didn't work and I had this idea of not being attached to it, I was like, well, then I'm just going to avoid happiness and avoid depression.
I was trying to just not, don't be happy. Almost the same way I was like, don't be sad, don't be depressed, don't be happy, don't be joyful.
So anytime I would get a feeling of happiness, I would suppress it. And anytime I got depression, I would still run from it. I would try and stay as in the middle as I could. That didn't work either. Now, talking to Jason, he reminded me of this moment I had with my wife.
Like the other day, I forgot what show we were watching. Oh, we were watching The Office with my wife, right?
It's season 7 where Michael Scott leaves the office. He leaves Dunder Mifflin. Spoiler alert, I apologize if you haven't seen it, but that's what happens. And if you're an Office fan, in the second to last episode...
Well, this is gonna hurt like a mother...
I didn't see Michael Scott leaving Dunder Mifflin. I saw Steve Carell leaving the office. The show. It's like this rush of emotion came over me. I could feel my eyes watering up. I could feel my throat starting to burn. And I look up at Carrie, my wife, and she's crying. She goes, well, hurry up and start the next episode. And as she's wiping her tears away, I shake it off and I push that emotion down and I start the next episode. And again, spoiler alerts if you haven't seen this episode yet. The whole episode is Michael Scott saying goodbye one by one to everybody in the office. All of his friends.
You're leaving today, right?
Felt a lot like your senior year of high school on the last day of your senior year of high school when you say goodbye to all of your friends. I mean, you're trying to tell yourself it's not going to be any different, but you know it is. It's going to be different. And it's this beautiful sadness. The pain only exists there because of something so beautiful before. To me, I call that a beautiful sadness. And for that whole episode, again, I watched Steve Carell saying goodbye one by one to all of his friends as he leaves the show. And once again, eyes start watering. I feel that burning in my throat. Emotions start bubbling up. And I noticed, while this is all going on, how I immediately tried to stop it. I noticed that I didn't want to cry in front of my wife. I noticed what my thoughts were saying. You're weak. You're a pussy. Don't cry. You can't cry. Guys, don't cry. This isn't a good excuse to cry. I cried. And I looked at my wife, and she was crying too. And Carrie and I cried together with Steve Carell and John Krasinski. We just cried. Now, I don't know exactly what the Buddhists are trying to say, but I think what they're saying is a form of attachment is avoiding and chasing. Maybe what they're saying is true non-attachment is experiencing those human experiences in the moment, as it comes, experiencing it, and then letting it go.
Yeah.
Remember when we cried watching the show The Office?
Yes.
Was that good or bad? Or either? Like, what? Was that weird?
It felt like you did cry.
I thought it felt like a good cry too.
Like it was like an emotional connection that you had towards it.
Yeah,
So,
like both of us did, right?
Yeah, I don't think you would cry if it wasn't a good thing. You know?
So the question is again, is this One Whole Life project helping my mental health? The short answer is yes. The long answer is there's this idea that you're a product of your environment. Lately, my environment has been people saying things like,
You came into the world like loving life and not self-conscious and like just thinking that you rocked. And I'm here to tell you, you weren't wrong.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about relationships and connections. You give me one that matters, I'll try and make more.
And we were just talking about happy tears, and how important it is to follow your happy tears. And she starts crying, and then I start having a happy tear seeing her connect with the happy tear. And she's like, "You're crying too?" And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "That's pretty cool."
Are you in a good mood or in a bad mood? Or like, what are you thinking about at the time? All of that gets associated with the event that's happening.
My job's not to make them drink. It's to make them thirsty.
I would be teaching this to children in school. I mean, it would be like a subject in school because what it actually is based on is critical thinking and logic.
But what has been almost 100% effective is when they're in a good, deep, close, vulnerable relationship with someone.
It was scary to cry in front of you for some reason, and then I did, and you didn't judge me at all, like I thought, like I had those thoughts.
No, I
in
always
my-
look at you because I cry all the time, and it's just like, it is what it is. I don't judge you based on I'm like, that Shawn Francis is crying again. No, like, I felt a lot towards that, and so it's like, do you feel the same, or am I
It
just...
felt like we connected over that show. Yeah. Life is meant to be experienced, and curiosity will get you there. If you are interested in these podcasts or what I'm doing with this One Whole Life project, head over to onewholelifemedia.com.